Even though this happened over a year ago, but this kid is being finally charged with as an adult for the murder of his mother. An 11-year-old boy who had shot his mother last year in the face and killed her after she refused to buy him a virtual reality headset will be tried as an adult. Now, the Milwaukee, Wisconsin home where Quiana, a man, was allegedly shot to death by her 10-year-old son at the time. He was angry that she wouldn't buy him a virtual reality gaming headset. But an 11-year-old Wisconsin boy had killed his mother by shooting her in the face after she refused to buy him a virtual reality headset from Amazon, has been deemed competent to stand trial as an adult. Now, the child, whose identity is not being made public because he's underage, had underwent review by two psychologists before before the Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Jane Carroll. She basically rendered the decision to try him as an adult on Thursday. Now, notably, the Milwaukee Sentinel Journal had reported that the psychologist differed on whether the boy was truly competent or understood the nature of the crime and the charges that that he's being charged with. Now, his defense attorney told Carroll she did not believe the boy would be able to assist in the defense, but the judge nonetheless deemed him prepared to stand trial as an adult, saying that the boy, who was 10 years old at the time of the November shooting, had not received a major mental diagnosis and he had demonstrated an ability to comprehend and learn what was happening around him. Now, news cycles reported on Thursday that the Milwaukee County prosecutor, Sarah Waldschmidt, had told the judge the child knew his case was in adult court, and that he knew his case was a felony, and that he knew that there were two types of cases, felonies and misdemeanors, and he knew how serious this was going to be. Now, prosecutors say that the boy's mother, Quiana Mann, was doing laundry in her Wisconsin home when her son confronted her with a gun taken from a lockbox in the residence, and that he had accessed it with a key. Now, the boy initially told authorities it was an incident, that he claimed it was an accident, and that he claimed that he meant to scare his mother and shoot at the wall behind her, but that's not what he did. Now the motherly instinct would be to walk in front of the gun and try to grab it, and however, when she walked in front of the gun, she was shot in the face when he fired it. Now, the shooting was originally ruled accidental, but according to ABC's Wisconsin 12 News, when police questioned the boy a second time, he said it wasn't accidental. Instead, he told police he was angry with his mother because she woke him up early, and that was not the case. Now, police only questioned him a second time because Mann's family members raised concerns with authorities that the boy had a long-running issue with rage issues, and frequently he would act out to try to get his way. And they noted too that he had been undergoing therapy. Now, just a day after Quiana Mann died, prosecutors say that the boy purchased a virtual reality headset that his mother refused to buy him. He basically told his grandmother, "I'm sorry for killing my mother," and then he asked whether his package had arrived. And Mann was on the cusp of completing her master's degree in business at Concordia University before she was killed. And her mother, Laritha, had accepted a posthumous degree on behalf of her daughter back in May. The tragedy has rocked the family and caused deep pain within. In December, during an interview with Milwaukee NBC Situation WTMJ, Laritha Mann said she had not talked to her grandson directly, but she hoped to one day, she lamented, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. Basically, the grandmother said he took something very precious from me. Now, Mann's sister, Rhonda Reed, told the station that when she spoke to the child back in while he was in custody, he said he did not remember shooting his mother, which he did. Well, he probably does. He just is pretending. But instead, he changed the subject of conversation to his electrical devices. Now, Reed also emphasized that her nephew had a long history of mental health issues, but when her sister was killed, she said in the December interview, her nephew had already been receiving treatment for mood disorders, but she also said her nephew reported hearing multiple imaginary voices. Now, part of the solution prescribed to him by therapists was less time on electronic devices. Now, Reed said her sister was doing what doctors recommended and limiting or removing his access to electronic devices or random games. The 11-year-old was charged this January with first-degree intentional homicide, but he is next slated to appear in court on September 5th for what we refer to as a preliminary hearing. Now, in Wisconsin, Now, I did not know this, but but in the state of Wisconsin, children as young as 10 can be charged as adults for certain severe crimes, including first degree intentional homicide, first degree reckless homicide, and attempted first degree intentional homicide. Um, now the trend now now the now the now the now the now the people that are working in the kid's defense, they're gonna try to pin him as they're gonna try to make it look like he's mentally ill and had a bad childhood, but that's not always the case. The kid knew what he was doing wrong. Um, Now this other one here. Now another story to put out here. A wife is facing 60 years in prison for killing her husband and chopping him up with an axe and making her children help remove his dismembered body. Now, the apartment where Thessalonica Allen killed her husband, Randy Allen, um, a jury has convicted a wife accused of killing her husband and chopping up his body with an axe, and basically she made her children help her hide the body. Now, Thessalonica Allen, who's 36, was convicted of murdering her husband, Randy Allen, in the LaPorte, Indiana home back in August of 2021. As Law and Crime previously reported, Allen was believed to have fatally shot her husband while her two children, both of whom were identified as being under the age of 16 at the time, were inside the home. After deliberating for less than 30 minutes, the jury convicted Thessalonica Allen of eight counts of murder, abuse of a corpse, altering the crime scene, 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and 2 counts of neglect of a dependent, all felonies, and a misdemeanor count of interference with the reporting of a crime. Now, if convicted, she's going to face between 45 and 60 years for the murder conviction. Now, the area news affiliate WXIN reported that as he was helping the defendant's children with their homework, Randy Allen noticed a website he believed his wife may have visited and confronted her about it. Now, WSBT reported that Thessalonica Allen's 16-year-old son testified at trial that his mother and stepfather were fighting over a social media post that Randy Allen had discovered on her computer, leading him to accuse her of cheating on him. Now, the children reportedly heard a loud bang and ran into the bedroom. An autopsy later determined that Randy Allen had been shot through his arm, and the bullet apparently penetrating the right side of his body, striking his spinal cord and leaving him paralyzed. Now, Thessalonica Allen reportedly told her children to ignore her husband and is pleased for them to call 911 as he lay on the floor bleeding out. Now, later that night, Thessalonica Allen allegedly had woke up her 2 children and told them to help her drag Randy Allen's corpse outside the house and into his car, but the 3 were unable to move the body because it was too heavy. Now, this allegedly led Thessalonica Allen to resort to even more horrific and grisly tactics to dispose of that body. Now, the children reportedly told detectives that their mother went out the next day and brought back an assortment of cleaning supplies as well as an axe, which she allegedly used to dismember Randy Allen's corpse. She then had the kids help her replace the pieces of the dismembered body in a tote bag, but it was still reportedly too heavy for them to move. The children allegedly told investigators that their mother said she planned to load Randy Allen's body into his car and drive it to a location in South Bend where she would sit on fire, but the body remained too heavy for the 3 to move. Now, the police were reportedly notified about the situation by a man who had previously been in a relationship with Thessalonica Allen and who was the father of one of the children. Now, the defendant had reportedly called him asking for help in moving her dead husband's body. The man refused. Now, at trial, Thessalonica Allen's lawyer had tried to mount a claim of self-defense, alleging that Randy Allen had lunged at her during the fight, and WSBT reported prosecutors said that Thessalonica Allen had lied in order to get a protective order against Randy Allen and that there were notes showing that the defendant had planned to kill her husband. Now, according to WXIN, police found a handwritten note in the apartment during a subsequent search, essentially a to-do list of tasks apparently related to getting rid of her husband's body. Basically, she chopped him up and basically cut him into little pieces, which is pretty fucking graphic as that is. Now, And also in Chicago, in March, prosecutors said that Chicago police identified. Um, so in March, prosecutors said that Chicago police identified Dontrell Jackson as a serial burglar who stole safes and cash from a business because surveillance cameras captured images of a unique heart-shaped tattoo on his face. Jackson was arrested again this week, and prosecutors say he broke into another business on July 13th, and he was wearing his electronic monitoring bracelet at that time that he committed this robbery, which is how he was caught. According to a Chicago police report, officials say the video showed Jackson, who's 29, burglarizing a business in the 2200 block of South Canal Street in Chinatown on July 13th, taking cash and credit cards. And you probably figured out how detectives identified the burglar. Chicago police and Cook County Sheriff's deputies arrested Jackson at his home on Wednesday. Just 4 months ago, the assistant state attorney Victoria Chavez said Jackson broke into 312 nails and 500 North State around 6:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve and took cash while having his mask pulled down to his chin. On February 21st, Jackson and a woman entered the Frida room at 1454 West 18th and unsuccessfully tried to break into the safe. This is what Chavez had continued to say. After giving up on that, they allegedly stole cleaning supplies and escaped in a maroon Chevy Impala. Then on March 13th, Jackson broke into a bar Chiquito in the 201 at the 201 North Morgan Street. Chavez said he collected credit cards from a register, and he stole 2 safes from the basement. Cameras also recorded him moving his maroon Chevy Impala closer to the restaurant door so he could load it with the safes, according to Chavez. But a few days later, Jackson allegedly hauled a safe out of Smith and the Loyalist at 177 North Ada Street as his face covering slid down to expose his heart tattoo. Now Jackson posted bail and he went home on the electronic monitoring 2 days after his March bond hearing, the court records show. Now during this particular week, Judge David Kelly held him without bail for violating his terms of release. Should he become eligible for release, Kelly said he needed to pay an additional $5,000 bail, a bail deposit to be released on the new burglary charge. Now, prosecutors say that Jackson has 4 felony convictions, one pertaining to retail theft, one to manufacture delivery of a controlled substance, and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon by a felon in 2016 and 2018. Now, he was identified because he had a heart tattoo on his face. But if you like the video, you can give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. Make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. Also, you can leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of YouTube. And for just a little as a few bucks a video or a month, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.